All right. Well, good morning and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of our Secret Path Week events. As we gather today, we are reminded that throughout Canada, we are situated on Indigenous lands, both ceded treaty land and unceded land. This land is steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people today. As a country, we have a responsibility for the stewardship of the land on which we live and work. So today I acknowledge the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the neutral people on whose territory I am broadcasting from today. So my name is Joe Grabowski. I'm from an organization called Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. If you've never worked with us before, we're all about bringing science, exploration, adventure, and conservation live into classrooms across North America and beyond. If you visit exploringbytheseat.com, you can find anywhere from 40, 50, even 60 live events a month for classrooms to join in and meet scientists and explorers from all over our planet. So this is our 3rd year collaborating with the Gord Downie and Chanie Wenjack Fund to bring Indigenous leaders, artists, and scientists live into classrooms across Canada. We've got an incredible week underway with 20 live events, including musical performances, language lessons, storytelling, and so much more. The Gord Downie and Chanie Wenjack Fund is part of musician Gord Downie's legacy and embodies his commitment and that of both the Downie and Wenjack families to build cultural understanding and create a path towards reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. So the main goal of the Downie Wenjack Fund is to continue the conversation that began with Chanie Wenjack's residential school story and to support reconciliation process through awareness, education, and action. So many of your classrooms are already doing something towards reconciliation as a legacy school. If this program is new to you, the Legacy School program is a free national initiative to engage, empower, and connect students and educators to further reconciliation through awareness, education, and action. So if you visit the Downie Wenjack site, you can find the link right there. Learn more about how your classroom can become a legacy school, a legacy classroom. So we've got a great event coming up right now. We're going to spend a little time with Julian Taylor. He is a Toronto-based singer-songwriter who recently received the Canadian Folk Music Award for a solo artist, which is really cool, Artist of the Year. His songs have appeared in television series like Degrassi, The Next Generation, Elementary, and Haven. He fronts the Julian Taylor Band, playing an eclectic mix of Americana, funk, soul, and rock music. So let's bring Julian in with us right now. Hey, Julian, how you doing today?
I'm very well. Sego, how are you?
All right, we're great. It's great to see you. We've got a great group of classrooms across Canada joining us on camera, tuning in live via YouTube. In fact, some of the YouTube crews already been introducing themselves. We've got Canada, Ontario, St. Mary's, Calgary, Alberta, Halton region. So that's great. Keep introducing yourselves in that chat, and we can use that for a little Q&A action later. But Julian, I'm going to let you take over for a little bit because that's, well, truthfully, that's who everyone's here to see. So I'm going to let you take over for a bit.
Sounds good. Sego, everybody. Hello, bonjour. Nice to be here. It's an honor. And everyone's from coast to coast, which is exciting. My name is Julian Taylor in Mohawk at Unkets. Julian Taylor. That's Julian Taylor. And I'm going to sing a couple of songs that I wrote for you. Obviously do a Q&A and talk about a few things that I've learned. I'm a Black Indigenous person, so my family is Black and Mohawk, and I'm a mixed race person, and very excited to represent both of my heritage right here and right now. When the earth was created, I wanted to tell you this. With all of its living beings, the intention of the Great Spirit, Manitou, was not to create a world that's only livable for humankind. We were placed in this world together with all of our brothers and sisters, with those that have 4 legs, those that fly, and those that swim. All of these forms of life, from the tiniest blade of grass to the largest mountain is of unity and of family. We are all equally one and important to this earth. I'm going to sing a song called Back Again that I wrote. It's about the circle of life. Stretching out into the morning sun, stretching out just to come undone. The skies are hazy, baby blue. The moment sits still and yet it still moves. We only stay as long as we can. We only stay as long as we can, then come back again. Thunder and lightning and sound of the past. It's time to celebrate at last. Sundays always seem to last forever. Mending any happen, changing the weather. We only stay as long as we can. Like the mountains return to sand, we come back again. We come back again. Sunset was setting sooner than before. I was outside cutting wood sticks out by the front door, surrounded by the forest and the trees. The simple fact of life at ease. We only stay as long as we can. Like the mountain returns to sand, we come back again. We come back again. Oh, we come back again. We come back again. Snowflakes are gently falling on the ground. Sunset is silently making sound. Give your family lots and lots of love. That's what you do. You give them more than they need to. We only stay as long as we can. Like the mountains return to sand, we come back again. We come back again. We come back again. We come back again. We come back. Appreciate that. Here's a new song I've been working on, and hope to have it ready and complete by spring of 2022. It is called Seeds. Actually, I'm going to take this thing out of my guitar because it'll be a little bit louder. I forgot about that. You can ask me what this thing is in the Q&A. It's a song I've been working on, so you're some of the first people in the entire world to get to hear the song. It's called Seeds, and it was my response to some of the findings of the unmarked graves across Canada. And I wanted to comment on it because I was very angry and very upset about the whole situation, like many people are. And my grandfather, who was Mohawk, taught me the value of just taking some space and sitting in silence and trying to find the answers there, to always walk with your purpose to be kind always. And what made me so upset and angry about that was that the Canadian government wasn't kind. But my response is this song, and it's, oh boy, that's telling me to meditate. Here we go. This is called Seeds. So if I mess it up, please forgive me. I'm just working on it, so I'm reading the lyrics as well, because I'm just working on it. I hope you enjoy. Now here you are, you're in full flower. You're flexible in all your power. You got all the sunlight and the air that you need. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Now here you stand hour after hour, strong as an oak, tall as a tower. The storm keeps raging, but you never pay no heed. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Now see you shining strong and clear. No one can stop a good idea. Nobody like you. There's nobody like you. I was a flower, I was an oak. I was provoked, and when I awoke, I started grazing for everything that I need. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Somehow, everything eventually dreams. Someday, somehow, everyone eventually dreams. Someday, they knocked you down, erased your name. You stood your ground and wouldn't change. The storm keeps raging, but you never pay no heed. You found your place now, standing alongside the trees. Now see you shining strong and clear. No one can stop a good idea. Nobody like you. There's nobody like you. You are a star and you are hope. Smoke signals in the air evoke from the darkest depths that our hearts can be free. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Somehow, everything eventually dreams. Someday, somehow, everyone eventually dreams. Someday, somehow, everyone eventually dreams. Someday, somehow, everything eventually dreams. Someday. Thank you. That's a song called Seeds. I hope you like it. I'm just working on it. And it certainly is very important. You know, I have a little girl myself that we all recognize what happened here in this country and understand the truth. And I'm very happy that you are here and that your classroom is here and that your teachers are helping to share the truth. With the truth, we can help heal. And I think that's where truth and reconciliation really come. For me, it's about truth first and then reconciliation. You can't, hurt somebody's feelings and then all of a sudden, never talk about it, can you? So this is a very important thing, and I want everybody to recognize that here we are at a precipice of the Indigenous Renaissance, which means, and this is what it means to me, and I can only speak for myself, is that, watching my grandfather lose his language and not be able to speak Mohawk was very heartbreaking, because he used to sit in a little chair and he would cry about it. And it was a confidence that was taken away from him. And what I like to see is that my daughter has this confidence that's being restored. And so thank you for helping to restore the confidence in young people across this nation and across the world, because that's really what it's about. Restoring faith, hope, and confidence. I'll do another song here for you. Oh yeah, I'm right in the right place. This is a song about my time spent in a little place called Maple Ridge. It's not so little anymore. It's on the coast. It's in BC. And this is where my grandfather, who was Mohawk, lived. And I used to visit him and my grandmother every summer. This is called The Ridge. It was mornings like these when the breeze whistled through the trees. The fog would hover and the grass would still be wet. I'd put on my rain boots and I'd get dressed, head down to the barn beside the chicken coop. Follow around the front door, down the path, through the brushes and past the pond. My sister and I used to catch frogs there until the house sold and we had to move on. Now there's a westbound wind blowing through the ridge again. Stay in, I'll go outside and wait for it to die, but either way, it never ends. Then make our way past the dog pen, through the fields to the stables where the horses lay. Shovel manure, clean their beds, and prepare their feet for the day. My favorite horse was named Frosty, until Sherry gave birth to a calf named Zuri. I swear I was there to witness his birth, sharing that incredible memory. Now there's a westbound wind blowing through the ridge again. Stay in, I'll go outside and wait for it to die, but either way, it never ends. She taught me how to write. She used to sing me lullabies. She watched me take my first steps in the kitchen when I was just a kid. Those were the early years where we were taught to have no fear, and everything seemed so clear. But follow around the front door, down the path, through the brushes and past the pond. My sister and I used to catch frogs there, until the house sold and we had to move on. Now there's a westbound wind blowing through the ridge again. Stay in or go outside, wait for it to die, but either way, it never ends. It never ends. Never. It never ends. Shall I do one more? Okay. More? Okay. I'll do one more. And then we can start asking questions and chatting. Driving all through the night down the Trans-Canada Highway. It has a road sign set to 5 days in May. Traveling from one town to the next, playing follow the leader. How I love couldn't get any sweeter. Stop to hear Chief Dan George speak at the Mission Power. All of those lessons we learned, waiting for sundown. An eagle up in the sky made me a believer. How I love couldn't get any sweeter. Broken down cars, little devils, radio spin 5440. My heart soars through wild rose country. We had a little lunch while Venice was sinking. Those Ontario boys, they just kept on thinking. Faces like silhouettes, captured in rapture. Well, are we there yet? Induces more laughter. Trucking through Rogers Pass, moonbeams reflect on red cedars. How I love couldn't get any sweeter. Thank you, everyone. Yahweh, much appreciated. Thank you.
All right, Julian, that was great. Thank you so much for those songs. The second one, I thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was such we saw that kind of dominate the news leading up to the start of the school year, and what a beautiful song. Thank you for giving us that little peek.
You're most welcome.
All right. Well, those classrooms who are joining us live, whether you're on YouTube, send in those questions via the chat. Those who are joining us on camera, I'm going to start popping classrooms in, and we will do some little Q&A action. So let's get that going. Let's start with, let's take a trip to Edmonton, Alberta. Some grade 8s are joining us with Mr. Paquette. So let's bring them in here. Where are they? Hi, Nummy. There they are. Hey, Grandview Heights, how we doing?
Hello. Say hello.
Hello.
All right, who's got a question for us?
Anybody have any questions? Danielle? Or come on, ask the question. Hey, come, make sure you come stand right here. I'm tall, so you might have to make yourself smaller.
I'm not that short.
Julian, I love that last song. What's it called again?
Sweeter.
I'm looking on iTunes store right now.
Okay.
Earlier, there's like this clip that you put on like the guitar. So what does it do?
Oh, this thing.
Yeah.
Right. This is called a capo. And what it does is it changes the key of the guitar. So I tune my guitar down to a full step instead of what they call, does anyone play piano like what middle C is? You all know that? Okay, so I tune my guitar down 2 steps to D instead of middle C. So when I play it normally without the capo, it sounds like this. Right? I usually sing, I like to sing in that way, but some songs, my voice sounds better in a different key. So rather than tuning the guitar all over again, I use this little capo, and I can put it at, I'll show you. It gets higher. The tone gets higher. So you'll see every time I do it. And then I'll do it again. It gets even higher. And then higher. You see what it does? That's what it does. It's called a capo. It looks like this. Very good. Thank you for your question.
All right, very cool. Great question to get us started. So that does lead, a few groups are asking online. This is an equity club, grade 10 to 12 in Oakville, Ontario. And they're wondering, how can they support you? Where's the best spot to download your music?
Well, you can stream my music on Spotify or Apple or Amazon Music. And that's a great way to support me. More streams, more better. And you can also check out juliantaylormusic.ca and join the mailing list and support me that way, or just, hang around the website and see what you see. If you like anything, you can always reach out to me. I'm pretty easy to get in touch with, and I'll always try to get back to you if you have any other questions.
All right, that's great, Julian. Where should we go now? Let's go to Dutton, Ontario. Looks like we have a grade 7 and 8 class hanging out with Mrs. Jeffrey. Let me bring Mrs. Jeffrey in. Hey, 7-8s, how we doing?
Thank you for sharing with us today. We have a few questions that the students have brought forward. All right. They're wondering when you were first interested in music and got involved, and what inspired you to do that.
I was first very interested in music because my father plays piano, and I started piano when I was about 4 years old. And one of the coolest things was that, my dad's a photographer, and when he would come home late and I'd be in bed pretending to be asleep, I would always know that my father was home because I could hear him play the piano. And so the piano became something that made me feel comfortable and safe and protected and at home, like my father, And when I ended up starting to play myself, it made me feel really comfortable because it made me feel like home. And that's how I started. I also started in a choir while I was at school and church. When I was in church, I stopped going, but when I was, that's one of the things I did. And my family in Ganawake, they all play instruments and have a very big love for music. And taught me a lot about jazz, and my grandfather for sure taught me a lot about blues and jazz. I have a big love for that type of music because I have memories of spending a lot of time with him.
All right, another great question. And those memories from childhood, they just stick with you, right? That's such a great memory to have, and have that feeling tied to it as well. Miss Wu's class is joining us. They are a grade 11 contemporary native voices English class. So I'm going to bring them in because they've got a question here.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey,
Julian. My name is David. I go to St. Elizabeth Catholic High School. We're in a grade 11 contemporary native voices English class.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, I want to say you're a really great musician. I really enjoyed listening to you. So thank you for that. So we got a question for you. So we're wondering what inspired you to transition your pain and struggles into music as a way to spread awareness.
Sorry, ask the question one more time.
So we're wondering what inspired you to transition your pain and struggles into music as a way to spread awareness.
Well, I think that the biggest thing for me is the struggles that my ancestors and my family went through. I mean, let's face it. Part of my family was actually stolen from their land and brought over to this land, and the other part of my family, they had their land stolen completely. So my grandparents and their parents, and certainly my parents, have worked extremely hard and have suffered from poverty and have suffered from having their language taken away from them, all sorts of things, and racism. I can't get into all of it, but I want to at least explain the feeling it is to be from a family that has had to work 150,000 times harder to get to where some other people have been. So when I'm in this position and working and creating my art, my first inspiration really comes from my experiences, and my first experiences come from my family. My grandfather, who taught me a lot about the natural world and being one with the natural world, and sharing kindness and those experiences. And as well, my grandfather on the other side is a very spiritual guy as well. And so seeing them speak and write poetry and paint was an inspiration for me. And I've struggled with a lot of pain and thought that the best way to turn that negative energy into something positive for me was to turn to art. So music and writing and things like that. Does that answer the question?
I think so, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. So coming in via YouTube from a few classrooms, Miss Jennings' class, Miss Compton Morgan's class, are wondering about advice you would give to somebody who might want to have a career in music, maybe creating or producing music.
Sure, it's a wonderful career. You have to definitely have a lot of passion for it, and you have to have tenacity, and you have to have an attitude where you don't give up. I've been at it for a very long time, 20 plus years now, almost going on 25. Excuse me. And for me, I've had moments where I've felt like giving up. And what I realized after time is that it's okay to actually take pauses. It's actually all right to not always press ahead and keep on thinking that you're, making headway. Sometimes it's okay to make no headway at all, because that's where some of the creative space lives. Now, there are so many tools out there now, from GarageBand and even Spotify's got a tool where you can collaborate with people, and whether or not you pick up an instrument or not, music can be created. And I encourage anybody to just start. I found that writing songs and writing lyrics and stories actually comes from a place that's very interesting. It comes from my own spirituality, being in spirit and thinking about things where, I don't necessarily look at it as me being a songwriter. I look at me as being someone who's able to transfer energy that's part of the universe. So if you feel passionate about transferring energy, positive energy that's being, left here on a plane that the universe has got going for it, because it's never going to end, then do it, and just make sure that what you're doing is true to yourself, and it'll shine through.
All right, awesome. Another great question from the YouTube crew. We're going to go to Peterborough this time. Madame O'Grady's 5th graders are hanging out with us.
All right, go ahead, Sel.
My question is, what age did you get your first instrument at?
What age did I get my first instrument at?
Yeah.
There was always a piano in my house because my father played piano. So I guess that would count as my first instrument. But my first guitar was lent to me by my cousin Ronke. She had an acoustic guitar, and I was super interested in that. And when I was about 11, she lent it to me, and I started learning how to play it on my own by just going to the music store and buying music books and reading it.
All right.
Do you have one more? Time for
Yeah,
one
let's squeeze one more in. I can see there's a few hanging out.
more? This is a different kind.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter's 9. And
Okay.
her Mohawk name is Josarade, which means light, bright snow. And when you get your indigenous name given to you by the elders, it's based on the time of your birth and the season that you were born, usually. And that's why she was born January, late January. And that's why she's Josarade, light, bright snow.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great question. We're going to slide over to Chalk River. Mr. Shattuck's got some grades 6, 7, and 8s hanging out with him.
We would like you to meet somebody.
I'll sneak in here real quick. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm Mr. Roots. I'm our music teacher here up in Chalk.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is really cool that you guys are doing this. I wanted to pop in and say hi to Julian. I've got a couple mutual friends that play music with you.
Oh, yeah?
Mr. Peltier.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm the live touring fiddle player with Johnny Reed and Jimmy Rankin. I've done some work with him, George Canyon, a lot of country folks. So
Nice.
thought this was really a great opportunity for these students to come on and do this and meet you and listen to some great tunes. You've done some great things, so very cool. Thanks for coming in to say hi to everyone. Boys and girls, does anyone have any questions? Sure. All right. Nice to see you. I saw Steve posting some stuff on Facebook. I thought when your name popped up, I wanted to come and say hey.
I appreciate that. It's nice to.
All right, guys. Cool.
My question is, how many songs have you made?
How many songs have? Oh, well, that's. There's 2 answers to that question. Probably written about 600 songs. But I've only released into the world, into the public, I've probably released 130 of that.
That's a lot of songs.
Yeah, you're telling me.
All right.
You written?
None.
Any other questions, boys and girls?
Never too late to start.
Well, me, I just want to go after Ryland.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Oh, another question.
All right, let's squeeze in one more, then we'll visit our next class.
How old were you when you decided to create music?
I guess I was like, you mean professionally?
Yes.
Probably about 17.
17.
Yeah. I ended up writing songs and busking on the streets and trying to make money that way. So 17, I'd say.
All right. So we have one more class we want to make sure we get in here. Miss Ayers' class looks like Miss Panaco's class, and joining us from Toronto. How are we doing?
We are great because we get to be with you. Thank you so much, Joe and Julian. Can my team say hello? Hi. We had a chance to brainstorm ahead of time, and Julian, all the questions were answered. So I would like to personally, if I could, say that we're very touched by your kindness. We've heard your messages of kindness, And we noticed a little furry family member that enjoys your music. Could we meet him or her beside you there?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
That's Cassie. Say hi, Cass.
That's his dog. He's been enjoying everything that he has. That's beautiful.
She likes to hang out with her dad.
Oh.
Music.
Very cool. All right. Well, Toronto, great to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I think we can maybe squeeze in one or two more. So, Mrs. Jeffrey, give me a wave if your class has another question. I think I see Mr. Shattuck has somebody up front in there. So let's squeeze in two more. Mrs. Jeffrey, go ahead.
One of our other students asked what your most famous song is and what song you are most proud of.
Ooh. That's I'd say that my two most famous songs are probably a song called Just a Little Bit, which was done by the Julian Taylor Band, because it got a lot of airplay in the UK on BBC. And then Ballad of Young Troubadour is on my Spotify, and that's had about over 3 million streams. So maybe those two. But the one that I think I'm the most proud of is a song called Carry Me Home, which I wrote for my grandfather when he passed away. And some of the songs that I've written take a long time, and this one did not take long at all. And it was written in about 10 minutes because of the sadness I had felt in losing my grandfather, who was really my best friend. And that's the one I'm most proud of right now, I think. Yeah.
All right. And one more trip to Chalk River to Mr. Shattuck's crew.
What was your first song?
What was my first song?
Yeah.
It was a song that I wrote back in high school on the piano called Streets of Fire. I think my father has a video of me playing it. It's absolutely horrible, but it was my first song.
All right. Well, you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. I say write as many bad songs as you possibly can, because somebody's going to like it.
All right. And speaking of songs, one more question from YouTube. A two-parter just came our way. So the first song you played, they'd like to hear it again. So can you tell them the name so they can look it up? And then your Mohawk name as well. They're curious.
So the first song that I played was a song called Back Again. And you can look that up. That one's by Julian Taylor Band on a record called Avalanche. And I do not have a Mohawk name. Only my daughter does and my sister does. I was given an African name. My African name is Abonua. And because my family is of mixed heritage, my sister was given a Mohawk name. I was given an African name. And Ebonua in Nigerian means gift from God.
All right. Very cool. Well, I want to start off with a big shout out to the YouTube crew who joined us today. Thank you for sending us so many great questions via the chat. A shout out to some of our camera classrooms. A few of them have had to duck out because their periods have ended, but I can pop a few in if they want to give another wave here as we're wrapping up. There's a few of them. And then Julian, can't forget that group there. There we go. And then Julian, what a great, the time just flew by. Thank you for that great music. Thank you for sharing some of those stories.
Thanks, John.
It was an absolute pleasure hanging out with you today.
You too, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Well, again, thanks, everybody. Lots more events coming up between now and Friday. So we hope to see your classrooms joining us for some more learning, some more music, some more storytelling. Thanks, everyone.
Stay safe and sound.